They'll sell you hope for the price of action. It's for you not to auction your dream at a 9-to-5 gathering. Learn the ropes to be free from self-bondage. Have to fend for yourself. Do not feast with the vultures. That's how you preserve culture. That's how legacy is built. Each one teach one. Each one help one. Each one feed one. Each one praise one. There's no generational wealth without generational wisdom. No man is free unless the whole family is free. Family taxes are real. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of 8+1 The Classroom. My name is Charles Nzali. Today I have a really great friend of mine. This guy right here is amazing. His love for basketball has given him, I wouldn't say enough. I mean, you've given him more than enough, and he has allowed that to be a tool which he used to impact other people's life. This man has lived in Thailand, and he has allowed basketball to take him to Thailand instead of still fighting to go pro. Ladies and gentlemen, I have my guy D Weeks with me. Welcome to 8+1 The Classroom, my guy.
Appreciate you, man. It's such an honor to be here, man. Been checking your work out for a while, and just I'm excited to be here and just kind of vibe and tell our story and connect with your audience.
That's what's up. I look forward to it. First, before we do anything, we're gonna bring some wine today. We're gonna drink a little bit of Uncle Snoop and see what Uncle Snoop got going on.
See what Uncle Snoop got going on, man. I love some Uncle Snoop, man. Crazy story, man. I actually had a chance to hang out with Uncle Snoop.
Oh, really?
I was 21, man. 2000 and I think it was 2009. 2009, I had got invited to Snoop Dogg party, all-star party, man. It was crazy. He's a cool cat, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man. More life.
Cheers. More life. Yeah, man. I had a chance to hang out with Snoop. Actually, it was my son, Uncle, who invited me to the All-Star game. Sometimes we always dream of, our favorite celebrities. Like you see people at the BET Awards, red carpet, the gala. You never think that you can be at these places. You know what I'm saying? And I got invited to a party, man. Had a chance to hang out with Snoop as a youngin'. And he don't know me, but you know what I'm saying, just to be able to be out there kicking it with Snoop, and he was just so humble and so cool, man. It was definitely a life experience for sure.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. I never really met. I think I seen KD once, but he was up close, but we never really were able to have any conversation and stuff like that. But Weeks, today I just wanna give you an opportunity to really tell your story, right?
Yeah, for sure.
As a kid from Kansas City, how did this whole basketball journey started for you?
Actually, so my backstory, I was originally from Memphis, Tennessee, but I spent a lot of my time here back and forth in Kansas City. My family used to do a lot of little road trips and things like that. Very family oriented. We had a small family, very family oriented. But to be frank, man, I actually played football. I was a really good football player, great quarterback, wide receiver. But the problem is, like most, urban core parents and things like that. When my parents got a divorce, I was probably like in my early teens. It affected us major or whatnot, because we was a very tight-knit family. And so me playing two sports, I had to pick one. And so my mom couldn't really afford, football and taking me back and forth. So I ended up doing basketball, man. I actually had a late start in basketball. Honestly, man, I started playing ball. I would play recreation just for fun. And, man, I started playing about 14. And I ended up went to a guy, shout out to Cowboy. He took heed to me as a young kid. My brother and I, we went to this summer camp. and I got invited to a former NBA player Todd Day camp. They used to take like 2 of each kid from community centers or whatever. And, you know, as a kid, you just doing it for fun. I didn't know that you can, you know, actually, you know, go to the NBA and do all these things. I just wasn't really exposed to them things, you know. And I ended up going to this camp, did really well at the camp. And then I just started, like, you know, doing both back and forth. And then about 9th grade, I was playing varsity at 9th grade, man. Playing varsity at 9th grade. And so it kind of go back to, like, listening to the right people, having the right things. So when I was about in the 9th grade, went to Hillcrest. Hillcrest was a blended school where it was 7th through 12th. Ain't that? That's crazy, right? 7th graders hanging out with 12th graders, right? It's crazy. But so throughout the time, my mom was like, I was like, hey, I want to take the basketball thing serious, but my mom was real big on educational, you know what I'm saying? And so educational was like a big thing in our household where we did summer programs during the summers. And my mom was just like zero tolerance. Like, you just ain't gonna focus on those sports. You know what I mean? You're gonna go to school and you're gonna be something. And so I had spent a lot of time, you know, getting my grades right and things like that. I end up going off to another school when I really shouldn't have. End up going to this school, man. I got cut. I went from going to playing varsity, getting cut. But the thing is, go back to adversity, man. It was like, it was a needed, you know, thing, you know what I'm saying? It kind of like lit a fire in me, you know what I'm saying, during that time. And man, I end up, you know, got cut. It was devastating, you know what I mean? One of them things. And then I was already going through puberty, you know what I'm saying? Divorce. And then my mom was like, yo, I'm gonna send you off to your dad. That's when I moved up to Kansas City. And I just kind of really got myself established in the basketball scene and just started doing my thing, man. Ended up going to a school called Hickman. That was a really good school. I had produced a lot of great talent coming up out of that school during that time. And that summer of, like, you know, my junior year, man, I really started taking it like serious, man. The crazy thing is, man, you know how sometimes you see things or you hear music that inspire you and it just kind of like change the course. And it's kind of cliche as it sounds, man. I remember seeing LeBron James and a guy named DJ Strawberry. Anybody that know basketball during this time, they was like some of the biggest high school. Man, I seen LeBron play on TV, man. He did this dunk. And I'm like, yo, who is this dude? This mad crazy. Like, this dude playing on ESPN, you know what I mean? And so I got like inspired. I'm like, because at the time I wasn't even like really dunking or nothing. I was just like lighting lights out, shooting the crossover and stuff like that. So I'm like, damn, like I need to be, you know, keep my game tight. That summer, man, we end up, you know, going back to Memphis, man. I got recruited. I went down to Memphis to see family during that summer. Man, a coach, like it was multiple coaches, man, like all over the city, like recruit me, man. I was balling out of control that summer, man. And it was just, because remind you, I had just like, you know, we had a really decent season coming out of high school. And I'm like, yo, I'm going into my junior year, going into the senior year. And I'm like, yo, I got to get a scholarship, man. You know what I'm saying? And so shout out to just having a mentor and coaches, man, who really believe in you. Coach Bratcher, man. Coach Bratcher took me on his wing. He pulled up to my mom's house, man, and told my mom, I would take your son to school. I was out of the school district, man. Like literally, you know what I'm saying? Like my mom can have no way of like taking me back and forth because she works. She's a single parent at that particular time. And this man was like, yo, I want your son like this bad, where he came to my mom's house, had dinner, everything. And like, yo, I'm gonna help your son get a scholarship. We see something special in him. So I'm riding with this, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? You know, like, but it go back to like you putting in the work, but just having that one person really like believe in you, it changed a young man's life, you know what I'm saying? And so I end up getting recruited by him, went to school. And, you know, I was going through adversity because I was going through a change, being young, and I had a lot of pressure on me coming to a new school. But it was helping building character for me, you know what I'm saying, during that time. And, man, I ended up getting a scholarship, you know what I'm saying. some things that happened. I ended up winning like Senior Athlete of the Year. I got nominated for like Gatorade Player of the Year during this time and stuff like that. And so what swayed me to go to that school was Coach Bratcher had like won the national. Well, he won the city state championship like a couple years prior to when I was in coming to school. So that was attractive to me. And then number two, he had produced one NBA player. So I was like, damn, that could be me. You know what I mean? Who wouldn't want to, go to the league? That's the ultimate goal. Just like if you was playing soccer, and things like that. And so I ended up getting a scholarship, man. I went off to Dyersburg State Community College. It wasn't like the school that I actually wanted, but I had got like a free education. And, coming in like, I had a mediocre senior's year because I had got hurt. And the crazy part when I say about going and having a mentor, man, because man, I had a scholarship. I literally blew my scholarship just so I can be back at home and try to go D1. You know what I mean? That was like my ultimate. That's any kid ultimate goal is to go D1. Mm-hmm. And so my one of my cousins was like, "Yo, you having a good freshman season, just finish it out," which I did. But go back there, you can put up big numbers, you can leave. 19-year-old thinking I know everything. I end up leaving the school, man. Had a scholarship. Dude, we had a house. I had a house, car, everything. At 19 now, I left the school, man, and end up going back home. I had to like get a regular job and do all this, you know what I'm saying? Because my mom was like zero tolerance. She was like, yo, you come back home, you got to work. You got to be able to contribute. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of getting like humble real life stuff. And then the crazy thing is I ended up going to a HBCU. Shout out to HBCUs, man. I went to Russ College for a little while. And so the crazy story is, shout out to Brent Smith, man. He doing his thing with McMillie, with their reform program and things like that. He was my roommate. This cat was my roommate. I used to take this cat to Walmart, drop him off, you know what I mean? Because I was a freshman with the only one who had a car. And man, we had some good times, man. And I met a lot of cool people at Russ College and stuff like that. It was a great experience to being able to go to a HBCU, not for a long time, but just that one semester, man. I still got friends to this day that I met only for a couple months, man. Friends of a lifetime, you know what I'm saying? So definitely shout out to HBCUs, man, especially what Deion Sanders doing down there with JSU. Man, it's huge, bro, to have somebody that influenced, but having a good intentions of, you know what I'm saying, trying to maximize his influence. That's huge, bro.
And just the cultural figure that Deion Sanders is in a HBCU, that's just...
It's madness, man.
Prime could have gone anywhere.
Could have gone anywhere, man. He's a great coach, and the thing is, he done it before. He been there before all this. You know what I'm saying? Two, 3-way athlete. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Stellar guy, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's just proper, man.
But so from the HBCU, the Rose College that you went to, right? How did that collaborate to the D League?
So my situation with the D League, it was like non-existent when I was in going to Russ College. It was just kind of like during this period of time, I was kind of like basketball was like still there, but I was like getting real life experiences. You know what I'm saying? Going to college, working, I had a normal job and stuff like that. I ended up working like at FedEx and stuff. So I was like learning like how, you know what I'm saying, like how to build that, how to get some grit, you know what I'm saying, like your parents can't do, ain't gonna be able to do everything for you. Mm-hmm. So during this time, I'm going through I'm becoming a young man at the time. And so I end up transferring to UMKC. So that's how I made my way back up to Kansas City. When I left the HBCU, a coach had, Coach Z had always, like wanted me or whatever at that particular time. Mm-hmm. It's just, you know how it is, like coaches kind of like have their recruitments and things like that. Mm-hmm. At that time, he had signed like a real big deal with UMKC, and we thought he was going to be there for a little while. So I get there. I was like, yo, I'm going to transfer to UMKC. I'm familiar with the city. Mm-hmm. it'd be a good look for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it'd be change of scenery, and then getting out of Memphis is always tough, man. Memphis is a very challenging place for somebody young, and just don't really have a lot of resource down that way. And so I end up coming up here, man. Coming up here was the best thing that ever, you know, for me as a young adult, going into my early, you know, 20s at that time. And man, I end up, and the crazy thing is, I get there, the coach get fired. So it changed my whole course of everything, man. So I'm like at this school thinking I'm finna play. It remind you, I'm like, that was my ultimate goal. Like, yo, play D1. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm here. Boom, he get fired. I'm like, damn. So what's, you know what I mean? What's next for me? So I'm like, okay. So it remind you, the NCAA so messed up. So when I was playing JUCO, I had to sit out a year. You know what I mean? And then when I sat out a year, I lost a year. You know what I'm saying? So I love how that what's the NIL deals and stuff. The kid, I love that stuff. What they doing, man? They able to maximize, get money and things like that. Cause I couldn't even get a job. You know what I'm saying? And just do regular stuff, because as an athlete during that time, the NCAA find out if you taking any money or doing all the things, man, they penalizing you. You know what I'm saying? And so during that time, you know, it was guys going out of, you know, going straight to the league out of high school. But at the same time, for me, skill wise, I wasn't really developed at that level. But I still had a couple years to say, hey, I can possibly get a shot at the league. And so, what really changed the course for me to even get an opportunity in D-League was, man, Brandon Jennings, bro. Like, Brandon Jennings, man, opened a door for a lot of cats, bro. Like, Brandon Jennings not in the league now, but he played a long time. Brandon Jennings but he started in the league very young at the time. And just seeing him, like, I remember he was like, yo, I ain't doing the ACT or something like that. He was like, I'm going overseas. I'm like, damn, you can do that? Like, everybody was like, because he was like a premier player, like, coming out of high school. And I was like, I got, I think, Brandon by a few years or whatever at the time. And man, I was like, damn, this dude, I was like, yo, this man is really going overseas. Like, you can do that. So when I seen him doing that, so he wasn't taking the traditional route to the league. So he was changing the game, like changing. I think Shamgar did it, but it just wasn't highlighted as much because he played in China at that time. It was, you know, years, but Brandon, social media was becoming like a thing, you know what I mean? People can watch and follow. He got like an underarm deal, you know. He wasn't even in the league yet. I was like, wow, you can do it like that. So when he did it like that, I started getting curious, like, man, you know, I ain't big as Brandon Jennings, but I'm like, yo, I can make my own way and create my own way of things. And so what I did is I like made a decision like, yo, I'm finna drop out of college. And like everybody was crazy. They was like, yo, you making a bad mistake. My mom was like, what are you doing? And things. I was like, I can always go back to college. You know what I'm saying? I can always go back in the summers and things like that. And people like, no, you need to finish right now. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it's multiple ways you can skin a cat. You know what I'm saying? Or it's, you know, like when we put the Google in, you know what I'm saying? So when you put the Google in, they give you alternate ways, faster ways to get to where you're trying to go. So when I had seen that, I was like, yo, man, I'm finna do it like this. So during this time, the NBA D League, you had to apply for it, sending in like, I think, a film and stuff like that. It was different like how it is now. And I'm talking about, man, it was like 500 participants or stuff. You know what I'm saying? So the shot of me even doing it, because remind you, I only played 1 year of college ball. You know what I'm saying? So I had like made a crazy decision like, yo, man, I'm going pro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? And so I end up applying, man. I got in. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, man, I prayed about it. And I'm like, man, Lord, if this is for me. And man, it was like, it was a week after my birthday. You know what I mean? Like on my 23rd birthday or something, I got the email invite to, you know, to go to the pre-draft camp, you know, for the NBA D League. I was like, what? Out of 80, like 500, you know what I mean? I was like number 84, or something like that. And, man, that was my first time going to LA in 2008, first time going to LA, you know what I mean? And that was like my first professional experience going in. I'm like, yo, I'm in. You know what I mean? Far as getting my foot in that door and seeing like what it's like. And so once I started doing that, I was like, yo, I'm like, damn, this is like remind you, I'm 23 years old. I'm like really learning the game. Like they telling us like we having these seminars. They like, hey, what not to do, what to do, things like that. And so when you go through the pre-draft camp, it ain't no guarantee that you gonna make the teams, but you in the door. And so you can build like relationships with different people, GMs and things like that. And at the time, I ain't had no agent. I didn't even know, you know, a lot of this stuff kind of exists at the time. I was just so so naive to a lot of stuff. You know, I was like, yo, you got to be good and things like that. And so, you know, I was just happy to be there, to be honest, man. And so when I learned, I'm like, damn, you know, I got invited. So I played, you know, well, it was, man, like you talking about players that can play, man. Like we talking about it was 6, 7 guys moving like guards. Like, I mean, it was just so many talented guys there. And so I'm like, damn, I thought I was good. I'm like, yo, these dudes are really good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dude, I need to like tighten up on some stuff. So I end up, so once that had passed, I didn't get selected to the draft, to go into the draft. And so that was the first point of disappointment. I'm like, damn, like I thought I was good. You know what I mean? I got invited, blah, blah, blah. But in sports, you can't get too down on yourself because in the day, it's a business. You know what I mean? They looking for whatever they looking for forever reasons. In the day, the bottom line is a business. At 23, you ain't thinking that. You thinking like, man, they don't like me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And at the time, I ain't have a lot of mentors. And, you know, I came from a family who just not tapped into that arena of things. So I'm learning all these things on my own, man. And so I got in, and the guy, Chris, who was like the player development or whatever, he was like, hey, we got workouts and tryouts, things like that's coming about. Because like on their websites, on the D-League websites, they used to have like you can go try out and stuff like that. And it been some guys that could actually make it. So what happened with me is they would invite me. Like some of the teams I had, like the Portland, the Bulls, even the Lakers had a D-League team. But at the time, the D-League was so young, and it was kind of like working. It was like in a beta phase. It was trying to figure out
what's
how to calculate it and how to put these things together. You know what I'm saying? And remind you, I didn't go the traditional route on how to, you know what I mean, like go your 4 years in college or I ain't do it like that. I did it my way. You know what I'm saying? At that time, and so I went. And so I end up going to like the Dallas Mavericks tryout or something like that. Matter of fact, I went to the Bulls. I did well. I was always doing good at these workouts. I had an opportunity, man, to try out for my hometown team, the Grizzlies. Chris Wallace was the GM and all them guys and stuff down that way or whatnot. And at the time, I didn't know how political and politics this stuff was, man. I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, you got to think at 23, 24, man, you're just so naive about a lot of stuff. You just don't know what's going on. And I'm doing all this operating on my own. I'm putting up my own funds, putting up my own bread, you know what I mean, traveling. So the D-League, I ain't never played for a team. So what happened is I got selected to a pre-draft camp. I had an offer with the Dallas team. I didn't take that offer because I felt like I could have got a little something better because they were trying to sell me like on a situation where they was like, oh, you have an opportunity to play in the NBA and this and that. But I didn't feel like that because at the time how the D-League was set up, it was more for the players that went to them top D1 schools and things like that. And so for me personally, I started thinking bigger. My friend Ray had a contact in Spain. I was like, and I got interest in because Brandon Jennings, man, to be honest, because how he was doing his brand, like with Under Armour and stuff. I'm like, yo, I want to do that. I don't want like the NBA cool, but I'm like, yo, I want to be on a global scale, like how this cat doing. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can find my niche and do it like that, I'm cool with that. So I end up turning down that situation like, yo, I ain't doing that. So I end up waiting, got an opportunity to go overseas to Barcelona, but it was a small team in Girona. Because when you playing overseas, the thing about playing overseas, they got tiers. Like you got tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 type of leagues. And so at the time, I was at the time I would consider like a tier B, C level. You know what I mean?
It's like the way the soccer system is built, Division 1 and Division 2 and Division
and you have to work your way up because at the time my name wasn't at the top tier anymore. You know what I'm saying? Even though you use kind of, hey, you top player of your city and stuff like that. But if you don't continue having that resume going on, people forget. You know what I mean? And so one of the things that I was doing, so when I had got my opportunity to go overseas, I was thriving over there, man. I was doing really good, connecting with the culture and things like that. I really liked it. I didn't have no interest in
Spain.
Yeah, in Barcelona. You know what I mean? So my interest was like, yo, I can play over here, do good, get my stats up. But my ultimate goal was like, if I can get into NBA Summer League. And so that was my ultimate goal, is like, hey, play overseas and possibly get a chance to play NBA Summer League. Because the thing is, if you get that NBA anything stamped on you, you know what I'm saying, your market value go up. You know what I'm saying? That's how this game is. It's all about market value. And so at that time, I was like, I was overseas playing with a team called Girona, Spain, or whatever. So I had like a real small contract. It was like a 6-month deal. And the crazy part about it, man, I negotiated my own deal when I first went. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up negotiating my own deal. And I had like a sponsor pay for my flight. I was like, yo, I told the team, like, yo, like I'm coming like a boss, right? And I'm like, yo, don't even pay for my flight. I got sponsors. You know what I'm saying? Like, they gonna cover my flight. This is what I want. I want housing, this, and that. They did it. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like a big contract. It was like maybe like $40,000 contract. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy good for me. You know what I'm saying? Because it remind you, I had dropped out of college. I ain't have no agent, no nothing. So I'm like, yo, I'm doing this myself. I'm a rock. I'm betting on me.
It's people with 4-year college degrees who are making $40,000 a year. So
right. I had like a deal.
It's not a bad deal for someone who's working overseas and having the overseas experience. I mean, it's not a bad deal at all.
But at the time, I didn't know that. I was looking more of like, I was just happy to do something I love doing and getting paid to do it. I don't care if I was getting paid $500 at that time. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I love the game. Because you got to remember, man, we used to play the game for free. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, now it's a different game now. You know what I'm saying? It's a business. And we don't understand that when we in this, you know what I'm saying? It's a business, man. These people ain't got to pick you. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nothing special about you. Yeah, you can hoop. You good.
That's it.
And so I end up going over. And so I had met this cat, man. He was running like this business or something called Eurobat. I don't know. It's called Euro something. And he just wasn't doing it the way I thought he could do it. You know what I'm saying? And so, at the time, my girl, my son, mom, we started a company called U-Hoops. It was just like a side project, man. So this how I'm coordinating everything together. So remind you, I'm still playing. And it was, you know, social media was kind of like getting amplified. Like, you know, people can see your stuff. And a guy was like, hey, how you connect? Like, how you get overseas? And I'm in my head like, why are you asking these crazy questions? You know what I mean? Just get over here. You know what I mean? But it really wasn't no crazy question. To be honest, it was a really good question. You know what I'm saying? And so I reached out to the cat. I was like, yo, I got this network called U-Hoops. So my network was basically like a LinkedIn for basketball players. But it was more like a conglomerate of players that was like me at the time, where, you know, life happened. You know, some could have happened during the lines where you could have got sick. You know what I'm saying, could have had kids or anything. You know what I'm saying? And so one of the weak points of basketball during this time was when things like, you know, had roadblocks. Guys didn't have platforms where they can get back into the game, but make it easy. You know what I'm saying? When we say ain't nothing gonna be easy, but make it more efficient,
accessible.
Man, you said it right on the nose, man. Accessible. And so I end up creating that platform, U-Hoops. And so, man, it started growing, man. And it was a side thing I was doing. You know what I'm saying? It was something I was doing in the summer, in the summer times and stuff like that, because I was more interested in real estate, because that's kind of like where my parents' background, we got property. And so that was kind of where I was going to put my, you know, my funds and stuff at that time. And so I started realizing like how it can help. I'm like, damn, like we was helping people like connect. Like I was like, damn, this is really like helping people, man. This can be like something that we can do. So it started being amplified. Like people was like connecting, getting connected with coaches and things like that. It was like a real networking.
So you were connecting players in America to overseas and the overseas market and what goes on there.
Right.
And connecting them with coaches and giving them an opportunity to play ball overseas.
Right. And so what's happening was it was becoming like just a platform where people can just go where you exactly know what you're getting. People that's, you know, kind of identify with you. It's kind of nice to have people like, hey man, I'm having the same problem too. You know what I'm saying? Like how we connect and you know, you building that community. And so that's what we was doing. We was building that community and it just started growing. And then what happened was we'll go to NBA Summer League. So now it's like, hey, well, let's go to NBA Summer League and we can connect with the decision makers, the big dogs. Let's see them. Let's see us. And so we end up start doing that, man. And we just start amplifying the brand, start getting it. Shout out to my boy Sid Sharmer, Explosive Athletes. He been down with us since day one. He was my first professional trainer. He got a gym out here in Arizona. He trained a lot of the NBA guys, NBA G League guys. He got a lot of great young talent just going through there, getting in training. He's amazing. Not just saying it because he's my friend. It's just based off. He's an engineer. You know what I mean? So his degree is in bio engineering, and he understand. He's studying the body from tedious, from left to right, all the way down to your, you know, to every part of how you utilize your body, man. And he got a great thing he got going on, man. He been down with us day one, man. It was like three of us. My boy Mike McGinnis, he was like my agent, manager, and stuff like that. And just to see all of us kind of like progress and you know, to be able to manifest our dreams is crazy, man. You know what I mean? And so when U Hoops was like connecting players and stuff like that, one of our weak points, we was trying to figure out like, damn, how can we scale it? And so we end up finding our niche doing tours, kind of like a rap concert. You know what I mean? You can pick a day to go or whatnot based off, because what was happening, players in our industry was only getting opportunities during the summer times. It's like, damn, we got to change that, man. It's like, why can't, you know, basketball play all year round? It's like, how can we maximize playing basketball all year round? Where can we play basketball all year round? Where can we play? And it's efficient. So what we end up doing is we start doing tours, and we started doing tours in Mexico, China. We did Philippines. You know, we was going everywhere. And so what was happening was we was creating a platform where guys that can play at a high level, but no, you know, you can't see everybody. And so what we doing is we was taking them players, creating that buzz and giving them that platform and that visibility through our network, basically through my network and through my relationships throughout the years.
So the thing is, that tour is giving people, it's pretty much doing the same thing as connecting them to coaches in Barcelona, but this time you're taking them not just to Barcelona, you're taking them to Mexico, the Philippines, and all these places. How was that? What was the feeling like around?
Man, it was like the crazy part about it, with my experience in the Philippines, man, I didn't even know Philippines was that big of a basketball market. I was just ignorant on regions. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know they a lot of people don't even know they got their own NBA over there. It's called the PBA. They got their own PBA D League, all that, man. Like players that can really play at a high level. I'm like, man, these dudes can really like play. Maybe they not NBA ready. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But these guys can hoop at a high level. And so when I had an opportunity to go to the Philippines in 2016, they flew me out there as a guest for me as the individual. And so shout out to my manager James. James, the power of social media, man. He discovered me off social media, reached out to me, and like, hey, man, we want to bring you to the Philippines. How you feel about coming to the Philippines? I was like, wow. And remind y'all said like, hey, man, I want to be on a global brand. Because for me, basketball has been able to take me all across the world, to meet people that I never would have been able to meet. You know what I'm saying? But not only meet people, but try to make an impact on other people's lives and bring back, you know what I'm saying, them connections. So I end up on this big time company, $1 billion company. It was a medicine company or something. Flew me out there. Man, they had 5-star treatment. Man, I had like they flew me out there. They had cars, food, everything. I get out there, man. It was on a whole nother level of like excitement. You know what I mean? They were just excited to see American players, American people to be there. I'm training these kids, and I still have a warm relationship. I remember one player was 13. This kid 18 now. Established, winning MVPs, and that just show you how you can make an impact on people's lives, man, with just one time of meeting them. And these people, I met this kid maybe twice in a lifetime. Man, this kid still following me and just hit me up like, yo, Coach D, you made an impact on my life. And this, I'm like, whoa, that's through my company, U Hoops. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I know that I'm operating and aligning into what I want. People always like, man, why you try to go to the NBA? Of course I wanted to go to the NBA. I probably could have. But my company was growing so fast. Remind you, man, I was 27 at the time doing this company. I was still had some gold to still play. But the company was going, it was building so quick. Remind you, I started my company in 2013. I had got flown out to the Philippines in 2016, 3 years. My company was already getting international invites in 3 years. And I ain't have a lot of social media presence or none. You know what I'm saying? That's just by, you know what I'm saying, the grace of God and just, you know, favor, you know what I'm saying? But real stuff, man, it was an experience that I never could forget, man. Like, you know, I don't know if you follow Pacquiao and how crazy they is about like Pacquiao boxing.
Yeah, Manny Pacquiao, yeah.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. It was an energy that I couldn't even describe, man. It was crazy. Like you ever see Travis Scott?
Yeah.
Concerts, it was like that, man. Like seriously, it was crazy. These people was crazy about the basketball stuff that we was doing, because what I do, I try to give people experience. You know what I'm saying? You know, anybody know that I love to host parties, especially my birthday parties. I like to, you know, I like to turn up. I like to make sure that people feel it, you know what I'm saying, and get an experience out of it. And that's same what I'd like to do with our camps and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's great. Well, let's take a little bit of a pivot. You said basketball. I've seen some Instagram photos of you. You're big in the Kansas City fashion industry.
Yeah.
If I don't know if that's the name of it, but in the Kansas City fashion scene, you're a huge participant in that. What is that about?
I mean, really, for me, man, I'm a fan of the art and just fan of people in general, as far as their creativity. I get, so for me personally, I had an opportunity to travel to New York Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, and I get inspired. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my things that I like to do is I like to go to the Nelson Art Museum. It's kind of random, right? But I like to go clear my mind and just kind of like see things in a quiet storm during that time. And so I never
thought of that. That could be really therapeutic though. Just going to the
museum, yeah.
To the museum, the art museum, and just walk around quietly.
Yeah, and just be alone with your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And just look at paintings and just try to. It may not be exactly how you thinking, like why they paint that, but just kind of as humans we should think more, you know what I'm saying, because sometimes everything is just blasted to us and for us to think based off somebody else's opinions, you know what I'm saying. And so the reason why I love fashion, man. I think it stems from my parents too, but also it's just like I like when Dion say you look good, you play good.
Yeah.
And I really believe that, you know what I'm saying? And fashion can be personality, you know what I'm saying, on however you feeling, you know what I'm saying? You see people dyeing their hair blue, pink, or whatever. I like all of it, you know what I'm saying? Because it kind of it shows your personality, you know what I'm saying? But in the fashion world, because you got to understand, sports and entertainment and sports and fashion go hand in hand, you know what I'm saying? It's like when I'm out playing,
They do.
you know what I'm saying? I like to have had them new J's on, the new LeBrons on, feeling good, or just having something exclusive nobody got. You know what I'm saying? And people asking like, "Oh, ooh, how you get these?" and things like that. And it can strike up conversations and stuff like that, you know. But as far as the fashion, it's a way to network too. You know what I'm saying? Because you can put yourself in other rooms that you normally don't do. So that's why, you know what I'm saying, if y'all see me out in the in the fashion scene, stuff like that, it's more of I'm big on relationships with people, you know what I'm saying? And what better way to connect with somebody and talk about style, you know what I mean? Whether it is drinking wine, restaurants and things like that.
So throughout your whole conversation, right? One thing that is very common is networking, right?
Right.
As for a young entrepreneur, a young athlete, a young whatever you do in life, right? How important is networking?
I mean, networking be so. I think it can be. It's kind of like the word we use, love. So love can mean so many different things. We got agape love, and agape love is a love that's it's so big. It's kind of like your motherly love. A mother can. It's nothing like a motherly love. And I say what I'm comparing to networking is, we hear people always say networking, but it's like you have to have like a game plan when you networking, kind of like being intentional when you networking, because especially in the modern day now, networking is so critical where it can be a game changer for you in your career. And sometimes, especially as a young person who's trying to get their business established, we always trying to put a dollar amount on networking, or like, hey, what can I get out of these people and things like that. Because during my journey, networking was me is I had to use my last $200 or $300 to get to the NBA Summer League, or I had to put myself in a room of fashion because I knew like maybe a top agent going to be at this fashion show. I need to be brushing shoulders with this cat to kind of like be seen. And cats got to understand that you can't just think basketball. It got to be bigger than basketball, because these are people that got other interests outside of basketball, like LeBron, Steph Curry. They invested into like wine and real estate and things like that. And so you got to think, when you don't have them connections and stuff like that, you got to think outside of the box. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I like fashion. If a cat want to connect with me, KC Fashion Week will be a place where you can brush shoulders with a cat like me. You know what I'm saying? Where you can strike up a conversation and things like that, and really kind of know, who do your research on people. You know what I mean? We got the internet. You know what I'm saying? Where hey, you can strike up a conversation and show people that you really truly interest in what they got going on. And I think that you got to take, you got to, when we say be different, you really got to be different. You got to do your homework to kind of understand your audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And me personally, like for what I do, I don't pass up on an opportunity to be in a place where I can network,
Right.
Like me and you meet in a networking opportunity.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
What I mean? So I don't pass on.
But you got good energy too, man.
Yeah.
You got good energy, man.
You gotta have good energy. I don't pass up an opportunity to network with people. Half of the people that I interviewed, or half of the people that let me rephrase that. Half of the people, not half, maybe 90% of the people that I interviewed on my platform, if I do not see myself being friends with you outside of here, I don't even invite you over to this
Right.
platform.
Facts.
You have to have something that I feel though is valuable to me for me to attach myself to you. You and I have conversations every time. We talk
Man,
more, we talk a lot.
We talk a
We talk
lot.
about
Deep
the stuff we talk about is not even have nothing to do with either basketball or even podcasting. It has to do with just deep real life stuff.
Real life stuff.
Family.
Facts.
Family. You are a huge advocate for your children, man. Every time I speak to you, you speak about your children. How has family life affected? Being a father, how has that affected you?
Man, I was a young father. And my dad passed young. Just died a few years ago. And the thing with me, my dad was always big on family and stuff like that. And for me personally, man, family, it ain't even just about everything, man. It's a more of being grateful to have a group, a tribe of people that's loving on you. You know what I'm saying? Especially, as kids don't know, they innocent. You know what I'm saying? And so to be able to be that beacon for my kids and be that platform for my kids, that's huge. Because in times, when we was growing up or whatnot, you see people like a Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson and things like that. Mm-hmm. Like, my kids look at me like LeBron or Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? Like, no shade to any of these guys or whatever. I'm sure they family look at them like that. But my kids see me in the presence and seeing me moving like how I move, and they, you know what I'm saying? And so that's nice to know, you know what I'm saying? And just really, for me, man, it's all about legacy, man. Building a legacy for my kids and being able to leave something back for each of them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's about that legacy, man. Like, it always been like that for me, you know what I'm saying? And as a black man, mix, you know what I'm saying? But it can be challenging, you know what I'm saying? Because we always have these barriers, whether it's economically, educational, or just trying to get our voice heard, you know what I'm saying? So, shout out to you, giving us of this platform just to get our story out and just be transparent with one another, you know what I'm saying? And just shout out to all men who trying to be a father in their kids' lives and things like that, because it ain't never easy, especially with my situation. We're not really in a traditional home, but my kids know that, hey, my dad is here. He whatever I need, I'm one call away from my dad. You know what I'm saying? So that's huge. You know what I'm saying?
You and I, man, we speak a lot, and I fuck with you, man.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. I fuck with you, because right now we're here, and your son is here with us, right?
Yeah, he here. He see how his pa's moving.
Yeah,
I'll keep him working.
He's here with us somewhere. He's taking film and doing stuff here. We're putting him to work. How can that not be respected, right? And with me personally, I have a daughter. I have a 2-year-old daughter.
Ah, that's what's
and
up.
Every time I speak to you, you either say my son, my kids, my son, my kids. It's a very common thing in your conversation. It's very present about your children, right? Is marriage a possibility for you?
Man, I would love to marry, but man, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. That's always a thought. We flirt with these things, you know what I'm saying? I should have been married 3 or 4 times, you know what I'm saying? But, D Weeks, lover boy. Lover boy, man. But nah, man. I really do want to be married at some point, you know what I'm saying? But I want to do it the right way, the right lady that, you know what I'm saying, respect me and aligning to what I'm doing, because I'm serving a purpose to the world, man, and it's all about making an impact. And the young lady got to be understanding that the person that she's dating, if you know DeMarcus Weeks is that person that you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to let my wings fly, man. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome,
And
man.
it's important though. I'm just serving. I'm just you know what I'm saying. I'm just doing my time. You know what I'm saying? Doing my time, man.
Listen, let me tell you, man. Marriage is a beautiful thing. But first, you have to. I was just in a, you know how Twitter has these spaces now where people can come into the space and have conversations.
Yeah.
So there was a young guy in the space. I just go in and just quiet and listen. I never really talk. But this time, it was a young guy. I was in a Gambian room, a bunch of Gambian people from all over the world, just in the room, right?
Nah.
And it was a young guy in there who said he wants to get married, but all his OGs are kind of discouraging.
Man, OGs be on some other stuff,
So,
man.
all his OGs are discouraging him to get married. So I told him, I said, you gotta find. My wife and I were friends, right? For like 5 years before we even started dating. Like,
That's tight.
yeah, like we used to talk about books. I used to be it was a time where I was going through like some real shit to where here in America to where I was even thinking about going back to Africa.
Well,
And we were just on LinkedIn. And she would just send me a text.
shout out to LinkedIn.
Shout out to LinkedIn. She would just send me like a message on LinkedIn, and we would just talk. And then she would just send me some words of encouragement. And this is somebody I have.
So I pause right there. Hold that thought. So Charles telling us our dream girls are on LinkedIn. I got you. I'm getting that cue. Okay.
I don't know if you're going to find one on LinkedIn, but just the conversation that we used to have back then, right? And at that time, I swear to God, I never thought that this could be the woman I'm going to marry. Because she used to check on me so often to the point where it started like almost annoying me. You know what I mean?
What? Really?
Yeah, I used to be a little annoyed. Like, yo, why is she always?
Why are you checking on me?
Yeah, why are you checking on me? Like, but I was going through some real shit.
Right. You know, men, we don't like all that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So, but it's the ego.
Yeah, the ego, facts.
Eventually, long story short, we started it went from LinkedIn to phone numbers.
Right,
Slow
progress.
And so we lost conversation for a while. For like a whole year, we never really spoke. And things.
John, what's that?
You gotta find somebody who, as men, who's not scared to check you.
But I would say not scared to check you, because I had this one young lady. I had a couple women that was not scared to check me, but my biggest problem is the women don't believe in my vision, bro.
Yeah, but that's a problem. They gotta be somebody who is able to put the battery pack on you and say, go get it. Not only go get it, let's go together.
But really true. But I truly believe, man, when a woman is after God on heart, a genuine, because that's one thing I can say about my mom, man. My mom is when I say spiritual woman, man, she a praying woman, bro. You're like a praying one. Like, you can literally said mean words to my mom. My mom gonna turn around like, I'm gonna pray for you. I'm like, what? I'm finna knock it. Yeah. We talking to my mom. That's my mom. You know what I'm saying? She don't really. I ain't never seen my mom get out of character with my dad, bro. Even when my dad was wrong, bro. Like real talk. Never, bro.
Me personally, I don't think I want a woman like my mom.
Of course not.
Because I'm not my dad. That's my point. What me and my dad, I aspire to be like my dad. He passed away, right? I aspire to be like him, right? But I am not him.
Right.
I am not.
I
don't think I am as perfect as. He's a little more thoughtful than I. People think I am thoughtful. Wait till you meet my dad, dude. My dad.
That was something serious, huh?
Yeah, his level of thoughtfulness is
He different.
Yeah,
he
he's
different.
like he's deep into this stuff.
Yeah, he did. It's like how people compare LeBron and Jordan.
Yeah,
I'm like, they the goats.
Yeah, goats, but they
different.
Different, exactly. Jordan will come in and say, I'm killing this whole
team.
This everybody in this team.
LeBron gonna finesse you.
Yeah, LeBron.
He gonna invite you out.
Yeah, he gonna smile to the cameras here and there. You know what I mean?
But he gonna bust you up.
But he gonna bust you up. Jordan is not trying to smile to the cameras. Nothing. LeBron gonna give a little girl a hug and give Jordan.
I ain't doing that.
I just came here for one thing. I came here to win and go home.
Right. Facts.
Yeah? But my dad is a whole different level. That's why a woman like my mom might not be what works best for me.
Right, I believe that.
But a woman that is good enough who's complement me half and half. This stuff is like it's partnership.
Yeah, partnership.
As much as we don't want to admit, marriage is a financial, a spiritual, a social, and whatever next you want to add to it, a psychological, philosophical partnership. This is the person you see every day before you go to bed. This is the last person you see.
You got to really think about that. I mean, I'm like a lot of young men or men just not ready for commitment. For me, you know what I'm saying? They ain't never. At one point in time, I was like that, but as I got a lot more mature, a lot established, I yearn for that. I want that because I do. You know, I did have a long-term relationship with each of my situation with my kids' mom. It just things change when you are pursuing something that's bigger than you, which is further down because they are good parents to the kids and things like that. And it is hard to be in a space that I am in, you know what I'm saying, and doing the things I'm doing.
Let me ask you a question, bro. How old are you when you had your first child?
I was 23.
You see? You know why? You were still evolving when you had a child.
Mm-hmm.
The person you were with, they were still evolving. They probably, if you're 23 and you have a child, the person you had a child with might either be around that age or even younger.
Oh, yeah. She was young.
Yeah. So she's evolving into a whole different human being, and you're evolving into a whole different human being. Chances of that going like this,
it's possible.
Separate, is very possible. But sometimes we beat ourselves up a little too much for that, not realizing that I had a child when I was 33 when I had my daughter. You see my point? So I had already, at 33, you already have had a foundation of the kind of person that you want to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
So because the situation kind of looks good on my side,
right,
don't mean that it was when I was that age, it was good. The girlfriend I had at that age,
right.
If you talk to her, the person that she did,
she like he was that. Damn,
yeah, the person that she did it, and the person that my wife married is two different people.
Two different people. Facts.
You see what I'm saying? So don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, I don't, man, or whatnot. But I was so attached to these so long. You know what I'm saying? Because I really wanted to. You know, doing something with them, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, though, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, we had a kid together, you know what I'm saying? But I am open to marriage, you know what I'm saying? So, if, you know, young ladies see this, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know where I'm at D Weeks, me.
D Weeks.
But nah, man, I'm cool. But really, man, it's all about these kids, man. I'm focused on my boys. You know what I'm saying? We got 3 kings in the building. You know what I'm saying? We just focus on them kids, man. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying?
You got three boys?
3 boys, bro.
Man, you need to. I got one.
I ain't got no girls, man. I'm trying to get a girl.
Man, you sure you want a girl?
Man, I want one now. At least one.
I want one boy. No, girls are boy. Oh my.
Man, they on a whole nother level though. Girls.
They're bossy, man. My daughter will just try to tell me what.
But you got to do it though.
Boy, you said who? Say what? I'm stopping everything to do whatever she says.
If I had a girl, man, I'd be like, okay.
You get so soft.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like the soft side of you just comes out. Oh man, it's just different, man. It's like you almost just. Mom says no, and she comes.
And then she come to the pops.
Yeah,
oh man, you gotta say yes. Oh man, see my boys, I'm like nah.
Yeah.
My boys got, so back in the day, we would be in the car, bro. My kids would be like, yo, they had a song called Mean Daddy, Mean Daddy, Mean Daddy. And they go back tell their mom or whatever on me and stuff. And their mom be like all on my crap.
Yeah, you see how is the opposite for you? They gotta go to their mom, and their mom will say, "Wait till you have a daughter." The same woman will say no to the daughter, and she'll come to you, and you're like, "What?" She said no for what? Man, why are you telling this girl? Why are you telling her no? And we start having a back and forth over something as foolish as ice cream. Like,
I know, man. It's crazy though. That's what's up, man. I mean, end of the day, that's what it's about, man. It's like what you're doing now, man, with this platform. Your kids could be able to look back and say, "Hey, my dad gave these people, these amazing people, same as yourself, man, a platform to share people's stories and stuff." We because at the end of the day, we all human. We got stories, and then the thing is, we can learn things from stories, and people always think that you have to learn with bad experiences. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to learn like that. You can learn through good experience. You like, yo, it's okay to say, "Hey, man, I ain't gonna do it like how Pops did. I'm gonna do it like this," and avoid these mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna make mistakes, but sometimes mistakes can be detrimental to your life. And so you can't change that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, man, you know what I'm saying? Sleeping all with different women. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it sound cool, but you can get diseases and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it go back every day. We taking the chances on different things. Yeah, you feel me? But that's why we gotta live like it ain't no tomorrow. We don't know. We know what's today because we in the present day, but we don't never know what's tomorrow.
That's what's up, man. Before we close out, I just wanna ask for two things, right? You were real, like you're someone who did dabble and dabble into this entrepreneurship, that entrepreneur. What is something that you're working on right now?
Right now, man. So I got a couple little some promo things that we got going on, sponsorships, and I'm doing some brand ambassadors. I want to shout out to my guys at the Merchant Fitness. It's a tool where, you know, if you playing sports or just on your day-to-day job, man, it's a tool where it's a power tool where it's a pro massage thing where, you know what I'm saying, you can get your massage your arms and things like that, man. Check it out. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. But it's a nice brand, well put together, man. Or whatnot. I like it. I use it. I like religiously. It's very compact. You can put it in your travel bags and stuff like that, man.
Yeah, this is nice. This is very nice. I have one, but it's not as compact.
But the thing is, it's real cost efficient, man. It's on like $55. Y'all can go to Massage Pro at Massage Pro on Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that, and check out their products and stuff like that. But I use that religiously, man, because I still play competitively or whatnot. And then one of our biggest project that I got going on before we close out, man, I'm really excited about that is so we creating a U Sports Academy STEMS program for solar and wind. We creating a basketball court, U Hoops in the Bahamas right now. That's going to be a project taking place in 2023 in the spring. People, check it out. Follow us on U Sports Academy and follow my Instagram at DWeeks DWeeksKingme. And you can hashtag U Hoops, follow me and find us and stuff like that. But that's one of my really big projects, man. It's just really being able to give back to kids and people in our community. You know what I'm saying? That's huge. That's what it's about, man. Using your platform to kind of connect people, you know what I'm saying, and make an impact on people, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we're doing. I'm really excited about that.
That's what's up, man. And another thing is, you just got back from the NBA Summer League.
Yeah, man, that was lit, man. You know how it is. You know how I do.
Something that you've been doing religiously for a long time.
Man, we've been doing that, man. Bro, have been a blessing to be able to do it so consistent. We've been doing it for 8 years straight, from 2012 to all the way to 2018.
That's true.
And then
through you hoops.
Through my own personal business, man. I've been going as my own business. I mean, you know what I mean? I own my own business. So when we go down there, it's open to the public. You know what I'm saying? You can go down there and meet some of your favorite NBA players, favorite celebrities, people you admire, and connect in the basketball world. So anybody that's out there looking to connect and things like that, NBA Summer League would be a great place to go down there, get your brand out, connect with the people that's in the same space, man. Just go down there, stack your bread up, your coins or whatever you call it, and go down there, man. It's an every year thing. Go down there, connect. Look, like I said, man, y'all know where I'm at. Hashtag YouHoops, at DWeeks. King me, find me, DM me, ask me questions and things like that on how to connect. You know what I'm saying? To get your products and things like that out. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we really been tapped in with that, man. It's been a fortune. I've been really fortunate to have great friends and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's all about putting yourself out there. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you know what, DWeeks, man, it's been a great pleasure sitting down here and having this great conversation with you. You know what I mean?
Man, I feel like, man, we've been on the phone. You know what I'm saying? We be having these conversations all the time, man. You feel me?
And you don't have me drunk over this Snoop wine. I don't know if they got.
Man, Snoop got me tipsy, bro. Shout out to Snoop.
Shout out to Snoop. I don't know if he got some weed on there. This thing is strong.
Man, this joint is super strong, bro.
This is strong wine right here.
I'm gonna have my son driving us back home.
Some strong wine back here, but you know, I appreciate you, man. If there's anything that I took out of this today, it's the importance of networking, the importance of preparing, the importance of whoever you meet, leave a mark behind.
Facts.
Make people, me personally, that's how I operate. When I meet you, I don't care who you are. When I meet you for the first time, when I leave, I'm going to leave you with something that is going to make you remember. You're going to remember me when I meet you for the second time.
And my thing with you, just the first time I ever met you, Charles, man, you just had a oral and a energy about you, bro, where it was just so genuine. You amazing listener, bro. Like real talk, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the wife and the kids, you know what I'm saying? And on that end, but you're a great listener, bro, and you really tapped in with people. You know what I'm saying? That's a gift. Everybody don't have that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you for that, giving us this platform to talk, share our stuff, and just really doing things intentionally. Cause like I said, man, I didn't even know you had the podcast until you brought it to my attention and things like that. And when I seen some of the video. It was dope, man, and you're doing a really amazing job with what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to know that we appreciate you, bro. I know I do, and I appreciate you.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? I want to continue. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We amplifying this. Whatever is needed. You feel me?
Thank you, man. Like I told you earlier, I have to be. If I don't know you, sometimes, man, I reach out to some people that I don't know, but I know your friends, and your friends might say some really positive stuff about you. Right. And I'm like, oh, there's somebody I can connect with, and then I get to you. You know what I mean? And thank you for just you're a busy guy. Thank you for coming over here and kicking it with me, and you know what I mean, drinking some wine and having a conversation as grown men and all of that, man. I wish you all the best, man. I wish tell them dirty heart, tell them bad man we no afraid. Everything we seek is the knowledge of the truth. We play to stand by that till your kingdom come. Salvation shall come. This is 8+1. A school for the wise. Do not hate nobody. Be prudent and wise. Be humble and focused. Do not let life scare you. Face your trials heads on. Face your trials with faith. If you fall 7 times, rise up 8 times. I'm a massive cling of hunger. Never let fear stop you. They'll sell you hope for the price of action. It's for you not to auction your dream at a 9-to-5 gathering. Plan the roads to be free from self-bondage. Have to fend for yourself. Do not feast with the vultures. That's how you preserve culture. That's how legacy is built. Each one teach one. Each one help one, each one feed one, each one praise one. There's no generational wealth without generational wisdom. No man is free unless the whole family's free. Family tax is a real thing. My auntie need a Benz, my cousin needs some Jordan 3s. I'll be damned if I let another man tell me my limits. Catch up, naysayer. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning.